Ready for an unpopular opinion? I think if you're capable of running a mile, you can run a marathon. If you've ever dreamed of crossing a finish line in the fall, feeling that crisp air and hearing the cheers of a crowd, the feeling of accomplishment washing over you as you receive your medal, knowing you pushed your limits and achieved something incredible. Fall is prime race season, and that feeling of pure pride is closer than you think. As you probably know by now, I am on a mission to run a marathon in all 50 states. So far, I've run 26.2 miles in 25 states. But the finish line isn't just about the race. It's about proving to yourself you can do anything you set your mind to. Maybe a 5K, 10K, half, or marathon feels like an overwhelming mountain to conquer. That's where I come in. My personalized training plans meet you exactly where you are. We'll chat for 15 minutes about your goals, your chosen fall race, and schedule your 3 coaching calls. Then you'll get a plan built for your schedule, endurance, and even your favorite ways to cross-train. Training and coaching with me is more than just a plan. It's about accountability, safety, and inspiration. I'll be your guide, helping you connect your mind and body for a race experience you'll never forget. You won't just have a plan, you'll have the confidence and stamina to crush your goals. Plus, you can message me anytime between calls for extra encouragement. Don't let this fall season pass you by. Sign up for my customized training plan and coaching today. Visit goldivyhealthco.com/shop or look for the coaching link in the show notes. We also have an entire episode highlighting a previous client in our show notes too, so feel free to go back and listen to that. This is one of my biggest passions in life, running across the finish line, getting that medal, and especially helping others to do the same. Let's get you across that finish line, feeling the triumph you deserve to feel. Spaces are limited, so sign up to get your personalized training plan and coaching with me today. We are Gold Ivy.
Our mission is to empower you to own and unleash your truth.
Stories of resiliency are gold, and ivy grows in hard places.
Those hard places are what create space for light to shine through.
You decide what works for your daily life and how to transform our lessons into your gold.
This is Ivy Unleashed,
a Gold Ivy production. Welcome back to Ivy Unleashed. We are so happy to have a guest in the studio. It's our favorite. We've got Katie Peterson in the house. Welcome to Ivy Unleashed.
I am honored to be here. I'm so honored.
It's always fun when we get another entrepreneur who is making it look easy, but is vulnerable and giving us the real raw truth.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, I was trying to think of the way, because I know from this conversation, a lot of it is going to be more of the problems that I have encountered, and it's not me being ungrateful, but ever since I've started this journey, I've really wanted to be transparent. I've really wanted to be genuine. So any negative or complaining is just me trying to be like very real.
Yes, and that's what we want.
That's what the people want. They want honesty. They don't want you to fake it till you make it. They want to know someone that looks like they got it all together, sometimes doesn't, and how they get through it, and how you, like, what your pieces of advice are. And so there's so much we want to talk about today. But you are the person behind Honey Peas Boutique, which is a child clothing store, which my family loves. I have so many family pictures with pieces from your store. And over the last, I don't even know how many years, we'll get into that, but it's been a pop-up shop, and now it's got its own brick and mortar. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. I knew it was the next step that I needed to take. You know, in each journey, no matter what it is, you come to this crossroads where you're like, it has to go this way or this way. So, yep, I'm in Excelsior, Minnesota right now, above an ice cream store. It's been amazing. I've learned a lot. It's been super cool to see the kids and interact with kids and meet so many new people, because I don't live over in Excelsior, but they have a lot of events. It feels like a small town, and I feel like it's just been a super amazing learning experience.
Let's go back to when you first had this idea. Take us back there.
Okay, so of Honey Peas itself?
Yes.
Okay, so I started as a teacher, and I've always had a passion for kids. I've always enjoyed working with kids. I've always enjoyed just instilling a value of character development in kids. I don't know if it's from my own education experiences or what, but as a teacher, I will be the first to tell that I probably wasn't the best curriculum follower, but my kids knew I wanted them to be nice to each other. And I taught at a small school in St. Paul right out of college, and it was the best experience ever. And then I had Avery, which is my oldest. She is a 12-year-old now, which sounds so old. But, priority shifted. So long story short, I tried to figure out ways to be still bringing in income, but yet at home with her as much as I can. So I, got into the curriculum management part of like an early childhood school. And then I got into fashion, and it was kind of always in the back of my mind is just to create this space where kids could come and shop and be themselves and just find things for them that made them feel more confident, which goes back to that character thing. I just want kids to feel better. Because when you think of like us, we have a go-to outfit, we have go-to fabrics, we have go-to companies. And when I walk out the door and I feel really good, I feel more confident, and it just changes. So I feel like that's what our world needs now, is these kids to feel good. So I wanted to create a space for that. So that's a long-winded way. I wanted to create a space for that. And I had pop-ups, and they were always really enjoyable for me. So I knew as my kids were getting older, I'm like, if I'm going to put time into something, I want it to be really successful. So I was out to eat with my family getting ice cream at Lick's, and I had been looking for a location, and it was my parents' anniversary. It was like a sign of God. It was like right next to Lick's, and it was affordable, and it was downtown in a really fun area. So, and it was a short term. So it's a 2-year lease. So I'm on my 2nd year right now.
Wow, that's exciting.
So exciting. Yeah. And speaking of kids, there are 5 children here right now.
Yes.
So if you hear anything, it is them feeling confident because they're in Honey Pea's clothing. And also there's 5 children in this house. Yeah. So you might hear them.
Yeah.
And maybe 6 if my son shows up at some point. So right now 5 little girls running around playing, and they're so cute. And it's almost the time that we come into Honey Peas, because we always come in there when it's back to school time.
Yep.
And so how's it been kind of ramping up for that? Does it change how things are throughout the year?
Yeah, a little bit, managing inventory. Because with pop-ups in Arbor Lakes, I used to be able to be like, okay, I have one coming up, back to school, Christmas, spring break. Those were my 3 big pop-up times. So I'd have plenty of inventory. But summer in Excelsior, people are always coming in. So I'll do back to school. And I think you've kind of figured out the niche with back to school. People aren't really dressing up for back to school, so it's more the school spirit wear, and it's kind of shifted that route and finding like what schools come to Honey Peas. It's a lot of Orono, Minnetonka, Wayzata. So I'll have a bunch of school stuff, but It's been good. It's been fun. It's been, the hours I think is probably the hardest part, being available.
Yeah. And how do you manage that?
I don't. If we're going to get just straight down to it, and this summer I've been blessed to have my niece work with me, but she's young. She's 20, sitting upstairs. Nobody understands the mission quite like I do, because I know what I want. Like if nobody walks in, I can sit online and I can think of new stuff, and my brain never shuts off. Like any mom, any woman, any person their mind doesn't shut off. But I can sit up there and I know my vision and I know how badly I want this to work. But she needs to get out, and so she's going to actually start a new position next month. So I've recruited my mother. She is very, very cheap help, and to help me for this next month to get through the rest of the summer, and then we'll go from there. But my kids are getting just more active, and it's hard. I think that's the hardest part, is it's adding another cup to fill, and I'm never available enough, at home or at work. So it's like, I don't. So long story short, I don't know. A year and a half I've been gone from my family on the weekends.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Well, and I think too, when you think about making the jump of starting Honey Peas, like it is belief in yourself. It's like having this mission, having this idea, knowing yourself and knowing it's kids, this is what I want. But you have to have this belief in yourself and jump and support. And so what was that like where you're like, I'm going to do this?
Yeah. I love my husband so much because he has embraced my jumping before thinking more than anybody in this entire world. And he believes in me. I think the benefit of being online for 4 years before and knowing that it had something behind it was really reassuring to be like, hey, let's try it. You know, being in person was exponentially more successful in those pop-ups, and the sales would be up than just sitting online.
So it started just totally online.
Totally online.
Okay.
And I started with COVID. So that was a huge benefit because everything was shutting down, but I could still sit at home and slowly do inventory, have no overhead, and just have fun with it. You know, I have pictures of Avery, who, again, like I said, is 12, back when she was like 6, you know, because it's been of half of her life I've done honey peas. And it's been really fun. So starting in COVID was great. And then slowly things are opening up again so I could give people the option to get out as they wanted, not huge crowds. We did an outdoor space so people shopped. And it just kept going. And then I got opportunities through that. You know, at Twin Cities Live was one of the first people to pick me up. You know, Elizabeth was like, yeah, use my platform here. You know, she was amazing.
Shout out Elizabeth. If you need any guests on Twin Cities Live.
We'll do it. We'll do a whole segment, just everybody. But I mean, they were unbelievable. And to just bring my girls on that felt so, that's all I want. Is I just want to set a good example for my girls. And I'm really trying not to cry on this episode. But that's why I do it. And I just want them to be proud. So bringing them on Twin Cities Live is again, a humbling experience. And then I've been able to get involved in like Fashion Fest at the U of M, which works with the Children's Hospital. Again, back to my passion of just kids. So it's hard. Those are the things that get me through, you know, the ups and downs. Is like, I just want to be a part of this stuff. And if I give up honey peas, I don't know if I would, you know.
I love the what you said, the kind of jumping before thinking, because that's what holds everybody back from chasing the dream. You easily can overthink. And sometimes we have these huge ideas, and this is where I'm probably going to cry, where it's like, your heart is so in it, you know you want it, but then you worry about what everybody else will think, or you doubt yourself, or you overthink. And it's like, we're teaching our girls and my son, like, that it doesn't need to hold you back. Like, it's so important that when you feel something strongly and you are passionate about it, whatever that is, as they're going by with their waters, that you do jump, and that you have someone like your husband, like my husband, that can support you and that can be like, sounds kind of crazy, but like, you're clearly passionate about it. And if you can financially afford to invest in a company or whatever, going for it, or finding a partner that you know that would do the same for you. It's you're modeling a lot of things for them.
Yeah, and I don't thank my husband enough. So if he watches this, thank you. But yeah, it's really hard because, you know, you guys caught me at the second part of my lease, and there's so many different things that can go into the success of a small business. And I love seeing these memes. And I think that's why I want to be so transparent, is because seeing these other people put this vulnerability out on Instagram, which I'm not ready to yet. Like, I've tried doing the crying pictures where, like, you know, you see the people on and you're like, oh, I feel so bad, she's crying. But then it's like, okay, I'm crying, I'm going to take down my phone. And it's like,
the last thing you want to do.
It doesn't feel like, it feels weird, but I get it. But there's been many, I think I've cried more this last year than I have my entire life.
Well, let's talk about that, because I think being an entrepreneur and what we share in social media, exactly like you're saying, it is highlights, and it's that's the celebrations, and you're promoting your business. So you want it to have a good aesthetic and show people the good stuff because you want them to trust you and they want them to come in. But being an entrepreneur is such a roller coaster, and it's risky, and there are a lot of doubts, and a lot of times you're like, what am I even doing? Why am I putting so much effort into something when this month was so rough or whatever? So what are kind of those dips that you feel like, what is that you feel like within business or motherhood that you feel like have been kind of tough for you?
Dre, tell the people as fast as you can why Move with Gold Ivy is the last mind-body fitness program they'll ever have to buy, and how women are finally getting the transformation they're looking for.
I love a challenge. Let's go. 2 big things. 1, Move provides a fun atmosphere to work out in that actually gets you excited to show up and follow through with your goals. Not only is there an element of fun, but we've carefully curated a program that makes it as easy as possible for women to take care of themselves. And 2, a Move membership addresses every aspect of your health, mind and body. Our Move members are getting the physical transformation they've been hoping for and feeling like they've finally found the group that motivates them on a daily basis. What did I miss?
As a Move member, you receive a weekly workout plan, weekly live or Zoom workouts, an on-demand workout library, transformational quarterly reset challenges, monthly coaching calls, monthly masterminds with health experts, and a private group of motivated members for support and accountability.
It's ready for you when you're ready to boost your metabolism, confidence, and feel your absolute best. Join Move or learn more by clicking the link in the show notes, clicking the link in our bio on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, or by messaging us on any social channel at Gold Ivy Health Co.
It's your time. Move for your health, move for your confidence, move for your mental clarity, move with Gold Ivy. Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Every episode of Ivy Unleashed is dedicated to empowering you to take ownership of your health. And what it really comes down to is prioritizing your mental health.
We've both seen the beauty and growth that therapy can bring and are thrilled to partner with BetterHelp to allow you the opportunity to feel heard and seen by a professional. The National Alliance on Mental Health reports that 155 million people live in a designated mental health professional shortage area, and BetterHelp is working to close that gap.
I've personally used BetterHelp and loved it because it was all online, making it super convenient. The biggest piece for me was how affordable it is. I was able to choose the therapist that met my needs. I came in with wanting to work on childhood trauma and anxiety, and it was unbelievable to see how many options I had with all the different backgrounds of therapists.
With BetterHelp, you have access to a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists. Therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness. And sometimes we can't see our own patterns and behaviors until we talk them out and get an unbiased perspective.
It's really nice to have someone who doesn't know you and has the professional background to help you thrive in your daily life. It has made the world of a difference with every relationship in my life, including the one with myself.
To get started, all you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire about your needs and preferences and choose your therapist out of the options they give you. You can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. Also, you can switch therapists at no additional charge until you find the right fit for you.
The best investment you can make is in yourself. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/goldivy. That's betterhelp.com/goldivy.
Take the first step to inner peace and freedom today. And now back to the show.
And I've tried to pinpoint that this last year because there are so many good things that I have prayed for, that I wanted. And I hate when people are like, well, it's hard. And I'm like, but that's not the reason I'm frustrated, because I tell my kids, I'm like, you can do hard things. Mm-hmm. That's our mantra. They go on stage by themselves and dance for 2.5 minutes.
That's hard.
That's hard. And if they doubt themselves before, I'm like, you're fine. You can do hard things. You have to try these new tricks. You have to try to be vulnerable. You have to try to believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. And then when I'm at home and I'm like, I'm done. And then my 12-year-old looks at me and she's like, you're not done. It gets me a little bit emotional because I don't want to be done. But I also, you have this new baby you give birth to, which is your store. You believe in it and you want it. But then there's also this point of life's really short. And I circle back to this, oh God.
It's okay, I'm with you.
But I always prided myself on being a really good mom. And, being gone for a year of a week is hard. So when I took this jump to take this store, at this point I wanted to have a staff, but it's just this give and take where you want to be available. I'm closed 1 day a week right now. And of course I get a call this morning. Are you going to be open? I'm like, no, I was open last night. I'm open tomorrow. So my personality and myself, I don't like letting people down. So if I'm starting to let my girls down by being gone on the weekends, you got to self-reflect. So I'm at that stage right now where it's also not fair to my husband, where he's working so hard in the week to financially support our family. And then he comes home and he's a single parent, which is completely doable, but yet it's a crossroad where we're at that we're losing that time of being parents together. And so I'm going to try to really, really be positive this fall and not give up on this thing, but there's reality in things. There's reality in a lot of things where you just have to be, what are your priorities? And my priorities are 100%. I want this business to succeed. I do. But I also, like, it's weird, but like 6 years left with Avery at home, and like Kenzie's been, her entire life I've been doing honeypeas. She deserves to have her mom home on the weekends.
It's like, how does it become an and?
Yeah.
Where you can hold space for both. Maybe not balance, because what the hell is balance?
Yeah.
But it feels good in your soul.
Oh, 100%. And when I'm at work, I love it. Walking kids come in. Like I had a little girl come in and she used her tooth fairy money to, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, you can take it. Yeah, I know I have something. I know I have something, but to what am I willing to sacrifice for it? So that's why I don't want to, I think I'm honing in on the location is maybe not perfect to make this successful. It's up a set of stairs. It's on top of an ice cream store. But when you're with a kid and if everybody's life is so fast right now. The stairs are sometimes a big, huge mountain people don't want to climb. They're like, nope, we don't have time. I don't know what's up there. I don't want to get my kid up there running around. Like, I get it. I totally get it. But when people come up and I hear people like, oh my gosh, what is this? This is great. It's really cool. This is my favorite store. So I think my next goal is to work so hard in this time I have left in this lease to make it affordable to have a staff, and then maybe readjusting before saying I quit, because like, I want to set a better example, because I say it out loud, and I do have a really young woman listening right now as a 12-year-old to hearing her mom say I quit. So why would I get mad at her if she's like, I don't believe in myself when I'm like, you're fine, you've got this. And then like she's saying the same thing to me when I'm leaving the door, So it's just about slowing down. Like we were talking about this before, slowing down, figuring it out. It's always easier to quit. It's always easier to feel like to give up because you're not vulnerable anymore. You're not failing. But I don't think that's the answer.
Brooke said something to me the other day when I was just talking about like how hard it is to.
What did I say?
It was like,
let's write it down.
I was talking about, because I feel like anybody can relate to what you're saying, whether they're in the corporate world and it's just being away from home. Like you don't even necessarily have to be an entrepreneur. Every parent is just trying to do their best, and there's no way to do it right. There's no way to do it perfectly. When we had Shefali on, she said, like, why do you think that you would do this perfectly? It's not even good for them. It's so good what you're doing. And Brooke was talking about you're running so they can walk. You're walking so they can run.
Oh.
I'm walking so they can run, right?
Yes. Like you are paving the ability for us to be able to do it with a lot less pain.
Right.
Like, I think about when I have kids, to have people like you and just other women around me, of like how much my kids are going to benefit from that. And not necessarily easier, but kind of, and like just that mentality for you both of like, it might be really hard, but lives that you don't even know and don't even exist yet are going to be so much better.
Yeah. And I think showing your girls that like, I'm doing this and I do want more time with you, but when I'm also here, you're not replacing the time with them with something that doesn't set you on fire. You are in the right spot, right? And you are building it, and your mission is to also be able to have more time with them. So when you're going to do this, you're going to do this 100%. So I just feel like everybody that's listening is probably like, stop being so hard on yourself, Katie. Stop being so hard on yourself, because you're totally in the right spot. You were doing what sets you on fire. And so many people, I went into the dance studio yesterday, saw like 4 different people with honeypeas bags. Like, kids love your clothes, and they do feel so good about it, feel so good in them. And there's something about, I feel like we need to talk about the clothes a little bit more, because we haven't really talked too much about aesthetic and how it feels to get in clothes that you feel good in. I'm more of like, wear my free racing shirt I get from running a marathon with some running shirts.
Which the Open Marathon has great shirts, right?
There is something to say, though. When you get ready, it shifts your mental health
100%
in a better way.
And we're in such a whole, I feel like everybody, this is, when you come into my store, there's no judgment. Like, and we're such in a, judgment is so available at everybody's fingertips. And I would just have this conversation with my girls on the way here, because we're very into skincare. And I was like, I'm very worried that Instagram or TikToks or Reels are telling you what you should feel good in. Where having a store for me, when kids come in, they can feel the stuff. You know, I have people who have sensory issues. They love the softer fabrics. That comes at a price point, you know, where you can't feel it online, but they come in and it's the one shirt to get rid of that wardrobe battle with the parent. So I'm trying to get rid of the wardrobe battle, but yet your kid to feel confident too. And if a girl walks in and wants a football sweatshirt, it's in the boys section. Wear it. Like, I still remember a little girl who plays football in Avery's class came in, and there was a boys sweatshirt that said football, football, football. And she's like, can I get this? Yes, you can get it. And a little boy, and I know this is a hot topic, but I don't care. Like, I can barely control my circus, but a little boy came in and wanted a unicorn sweatshirt. Dad was all about it. Perfect. Then grab the unicorn sweatshirt. Like, I'm not here to be like, nope, that's in the girls section. Nope, this is in the boys section. You want to wear a tutu to the park? Go to a tutu in a park. We got to slow down and let the kids talk and start to feel confident, because it gets to a point where there's so many people that are just going to rip confidence from the kids. So if they can start as young as 2 to start to feel confident and find themselves and know themselves, then I am here for it.
Well, and to echo what you're saying about in-person versus social media, there's something about the in-person experience. And although online might be taken over, they're not taken over fully, because people do appreciate getting out of their house, going with friends, the community aspect of it, walking away with something. Yeah. And I think it forces us to slow down and like, what do I feel confident in? What do I want? What am I drawn towards? And to start that from a young age is so beautiful, of me as an individual and not what everyone online is telling me I should be wearing.
Right. And it's actually a bonding experience too with parents, because when they come in with aunts, uncles, grandparents, and they see what their kid, grandkid, niece, nephew is interested in, they're like, whoa, that's your favorite color? Like, I've heard so many parents be like, oh, he would never wear that. And they come in and he loves it. And that's the biggest part, is the boys section, where like, they're like, boys don't like to shop. But then boys come in and they're like, they actually do, if they're given the opportunity to try things on and look at themselves in the mirror and see a different kind of fabric on, and it's comfortable and it's not a collared button-up shirt. You know, it's more of a fun, dressed-up leisure approach. But I like the bonding experience they get too.
Totally. I do like one-on-one school shopping with my kids for clothes, and it is so fun to see what they're interested in. And I feel like there's such a variety too. Like you said, like the comfy clothes are in. Like some of the clothes Cora wants to wear to school, I'm like, what? Those are sweatpants.
Oh,
but like,
totally. Since
why would you
COVID,
want to wear them? Yeah.
Nobody wears, like, I think COVID brought out fashionable hand sanitizer. Like that's like that Touchland. Have you guys ever heard of Touchland? It's the best smelling hand sanitizer that I carry, but I can't keep in stock.
Okay.
Most genius idea somebody brought out of, I think around COVID, that it's just like a trendy hand sanitizer. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But that cannot stay in store. And I can't remember where I was going with it. But I think that, and having just the experience and just the kids being able to come in is my favorite at back to school time.
Let's talk about your own confidence. Like,
Oh, jeez.
so like, for example, Brooke and I are very different. Like Brooke like knows trendy things, style, and like everything I have is from, I hardly ever go shopping.
Yeah.
I just like, to me, I never know what's in style. Like, oh, what are we doing for jeans now? Okay, we're not doing jeggings. I never know. And Brooke will wear jeans that I'm like, is that what I'm supposed to be wearing? Like, is that, you know? And so a lot of people are clueless like me, and a lot of people like kind of know how to go with the trends. And so for someone that's kind of clueless but wants to feel confident in clothes, what's your advice on kind of where to start, who to follow, and what's like, who do you follow that inspires you with?
So this is my
Style.
approach to trends. And I had the same exact, whatever we were talking about before, like the self-doubt in my head before opening a fashion store, because I didn't consider myself, I never am like, people, I have such style,
Okay,
like,
as she's sitting there in like the cutest denim jumpsuit.
but the reason that I wear this denim jumpsuit is because I feel confident in it, and that's what I say for anybody looking for their trend. I look at people online and I'm like, I love that they could wear that. I never would consider it trend. Like, people would walk through a restaurant and some people are like, what is that? But you can tell they feel good in it.
Yeah.
So they make it look good.
They make it look good. And my favorite person who has influenced me the most is my friend Amy Seaman. She has taught me to kind of follow my mission of feeling confident in clothes and kind of not caring what other people think. But yet I love looking at trends. Like, I love looking at the full body suit, the vest look. I'll try it on, but I won't follow it if I don't feel good in it.
So who are you watching? Like, who are you following that you're like, okay, they always have the new trends. Like, are there people you follow online?
I follow a bunch of people just because I feel like there's an array of, like, I follow Amy and I love what she wears. And I'm like, do I have something that looks somewhat like me, like that in my closet? Or I love Living with Landon. I think she's very classy and she has things from Target and she has things above, from there. But a lot of what I look for trends is I look online of stores and I just see what I like. And then I look to my closet and I see if I have anything that looks like that, or even looking on Amazon where I'm like, oh, that's cute together. It's just looking at pictures and seeing what I like is kind of how I dictate my style.
Like, what are you drawn towards?
I'm drawn, like, what I feel most confident in is if I were to go out, I would love to wear like baggy pants and a tight shirt. Like, I love I do love denim, obviously. I love bodysuits. I love easy dressing, and I love, I was trying to think of what my style was, and I love anything unique. I do. If I feel kind of iffy about wearing it, but I feel confident in it, that's my style. So.
Which is ballsy. I feel like that's like to walk out and be like, I've never seen this on anybody else, but here we go.
But also, like, who cares?
Oh,
if
totally.
you're feeling confident in it, like, you're the one that has to wear it. You're the one that's spending money on it.
Yeah. And I do. I love basics. Like, I used to think you had to dress like over the top to feel like stylish. But like, again, so I think leggings and an oversized t-shirt, or anything that just makes me feel comfortable. So I used to be like, oh, I have to wear a ton of color. No, I love black. I do. I absolutely love the color black. And I love white and I love neutrals. And that's my style. It's just so much.
That's a lot.
On top of running a store and trying to be a parent and then doing the online stuff. And yeah, it's another.
It's all these cups that have slow little holes in the bottom that I'm trying to pour water in, but it's everybody. And that's where I think you kind of hit it on the head, where it's everybody is running around trying to do their best. I think for me, I did this because I wanted to take a little bit of a financial burden off my husband, and it's not happening yet. Does that mean it won't happen? No. But it's just, you have this vision, and I am always an over positive. It's going to work, honey. I'm going to franchise it out in like a year. Life's too short not to try to be positive, not to try to look at the best, try to look at the outcome and be like, I don't know why everybody's not emptying out this store because this is so cute. I buy it and it will sit. And I'm like, oh, it's the cutest sweater. How is nobody wanting this? But then in 6 months, everybody will want. It's just a head game. It's just, you never understand it. So to slow down, to understand the algorithms, it's just getting rid of the excuse and waking up earlier. Finding the time. I just got to put it on myself for this next year is just to wake up earlier and be up before the kids, because I still have a 4-year-old at home who's not in school full time. So when I'm home, I'm mom.
And
that's a lot.
I feel everything you said so much, because I mean, it goes with anybody's business. It's like you have the dream, but it's building this thing that takes time, and it takes people buying into it and like for us, it's listening, it's becoming a member. It's, creating so much value with something you're passionate about, and you not giving up.
Yeah.
It's the name of the game, and it requires a lot of self-care. Otherwise you will burn out, you know? And so I'm curious for you, like, what fills up your cup when you think of, like, outside of giving to everybody else, when you're like, okay, if I'm going to take care of me, I got a couple days here, what is Katie doing?
I'm trying to think I really do. And I know this sounds goofy, but I really do enjoy my daughter's dance at a studio, Summit Dance Shop, and they allow me to be involved in the merch side of things. So I never danced. Like, yes, okay, I danced, but it's not like dance now. I played basketball. I am a contact sport girl, and it allows me to be involved in their life some way. So that might be what I'm trying to say, because I feel confident in that. I feel confident there. I'm not vulnerable. I am, Steph and Luke have put a lot of, trust in me, and I feel like I'm making a difference there. So that's what I'm doing. If I'm trying to feel involved and impactful in my girl's life. And I think that fills my cup, is where I know I'm doing something that they see. And I know they see honeypeas, but I know that I'm involved. It's like knowing what's going on, and their friends are there, and they're constant. And I think that's filling my cup. My husband and I are going to hopefully go to Vegas. That will fill my cup.
Yeah.
That will fill my cup. I have to get better at that. I am taking that on myself, but because I've never switched my brain, I need to switch my brain off. I am getting better at home, not worrying about things, being okay, being closed today, being okay setting hours. But just slowing down and looking at my kids and hearing them laugh. Like, I think that fills my cup, that I'm like, okay, I am doing okay. Because it is easy to be hard on yourself.
Totally.
You see, you're in the red in a small business for a long time. And a lot of this world has been financially based thinking. So unless I'm making money, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, So at Honeypeas, it's easy to get caught in that tunnel of feeling like you're failing, but you're not. Yeah. Like, you got to give yourself some credit. You're not. And so at home, I'm going to separate that, turn that off, realize there is something going on great at Honeypeas, and then being home, fill my cup, listen to the kids laugh, run around with them, and connect again.
Yeah, being present.
Enjoying
the little moments.
Yeah, and that's hard, and it's hard not to get caught up in the craziness, but put the phone away, be present.
That just highlights how much you have going on, because no part of that was just like what you like to do for yourself. And I think it's tricky, because you've got to be careful, because you can get sick, you can burn out. I mean, you don't have a free moment, and when you do, you're filling it with going to your kids' activity and also working there. So,
and that's what my husband's like. He's like, go, and I can't, and that's like what I have to get better at. But I can't do something for myself right now because I feel guilty. And right or wrong, but I'm away from them on the weekends, where I would usually take the time to get my nails done or get my eyebrows wet or something, and I break down, like, because I am always going. And like I was saying, my husband's really good to be like, just go, I'll take the kids. I'm like, but that's not why I'm home on the weekends, or that's not the point, or So there's just a lot. There's a lot going on in this brain. But yeah, if I'm trying to think of lately what has filled my cup, it's hearing, like, they were laughing this morning upstairs, and it did. It made me like take a deep breath and be like, okay. Or folding laundry feels awesome. That's weird, but my girls would be like, what makes your mom happy? And they'll be like, cleaning. Like just getting caught up in life and just coming home and like, this sounds so old school, but like making dinner or, you know, just being able to take something off my husband's plate and feel like I can tell this stresses him out just as much as it stresses me out. And he doesn't get enough credit for what he does on the weekends or, you know, so that fills my cup. And I have like Fashion Fest coming up again. You know, holidays are always really big, but
let's talk about Fashion Fest. Let's talk about like your vision. You pick these clothes, you pick these kids that are your models, right? And then you get to clothe them and then have them go on a runway. Like, how does that feel to have your vision come to life? I'm sure your friends and family come and support you. Like, what is that like?
Yes, my mom and dad bought their tickets last night. I mean, even studio, like my friends come and it is so much bigger than me. So the people who walk are Avery and Brooklyn, which are my two oldest. Maybe Kenzie will sneak in there. I don't know. But she could. But the others are patients. So to get to meet a kid that is like, oh yeah, you know, I had brain cancer. I feel amazing. This runway is no joke either. It's like an elevated runway. You have hundreds of people who have paid thousands of dollars for a ticket watching you. I mean, there's tickets for like $20,000 to sponsor this. And the amount of money that they raise surrounded by that energy. I said to my dad, I said, you have to come. Because my dad is such an energy person and he's such a if you've heard him speak at a wedding, he could talk forever. But there's so few nights like what I feel the night at Fashion Fest. It's just everybody is realizing that like life's not super serious. And you've got these 8-year-olds that are fighting for their life and still loving it, loving life and happy and walking and just stronger than any of us have ever been.
Yeah, wow.
So it's an amazing night and they always share the stories and they're, you know, it's cool. So it's one of those nights that I feel humbled to be a part of.
I was going to say, it sounds like one of those not milestones, but events that you have yearly in your calendar that remind you of why you're doing what you do.
Yeah,
because it is such a perspective
100%.
shift. And okay, what I'm doing here is it matters.
Yeah. I hope to God that they always want me there because it's one of those things that I'm like, to even have my name in that building associated with the Children's Hospital. Like when I was in that transition stage of opening Honey Peas and leaving work, I said to my husband, I'm like, maybe I'll just go to the Children's Hospital and I'll use my education background and explain to kids, I can't remember the name of this role, but explain to kids what's going on to them. Mm-hmm. There's somebody who literally goes into these rooms and explains it to kids in their language. Yeah. And my husband's like, you will not be able to do that. Like, you'll be like, oh, it's okay. Like, you're going to be fine. And he's like, you can't. You emotionally could not be the strong person for these kids. So to be able to be involved in the Children's Hospital, like, it just, there's things that happen to me in life that I'm like, I had no part of this and I have no idea why it happened to me, but I put it out there and I'm huge in manifesting. I am so big in manifesting. Like this woman came up to me at an event, James J. Hill, that I'm a part of. And she's like, would you ever want to be involved in the Children's Hospital? I'm like, what just happened? Like there is some sort of higher power, whatever you believe in, that has a plan for you. And I do feel like being a part of this might be, if Honey Peas doesn't work out, hopefully it does, being a part of this, I can say something happened.
I think too, believing like it is, like not if, like it is, like you are proof that you can take your passions and what excites you and the niche that lights you up and that you're so, I mean, kids are everything to you. And so you're in the mix of it. And I think the red line and the finances, like it can be such a stressor as you're trying to build something, but it's meaningful. People are following you. And even if the following isn't what you want it to be, there's a community that's rooting for you and that is supporting you and that is excited to come into your store. Like, we're just waiting till August because otherwise my kids want to wear all of the school clothes too early. And I'm like, you can't wear it yet.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think knowing, if it does work out, like it is working out, like, and I know things need to happen. You want to support your family in a financial way. And I believe it will happen too. I think it's understanding like you are making a huge impact right now. And
thank you.
Such a great follow to someone to see like what you're doing in real time with kids, real time kids coming in and feeling good in clothes, and then being an example too of like style. I never know if I'm always asking my friends like, who are we following? How did we know these jeans were in? I don't know what's happening. And so you're a good follow for that. So if people want to follow you, they want to shop in your store, they want to come, they're in Minnesota, like half our listeners are probably in Minnesota. I think it's something like 50%. They want to pop in, they want to buy gifts, they want to go school shopping. Tell everybody where to find you, follow you, and how to get into your store.
I'd say my most accurate following is Instagram. I think because I understand that the most, but that would probably be your up to date. I post my hours there for my shop in Excelsior. And other than that, I'm available online all the time. And I think Facebook is great because it auto generates over there. But I would say Instagram is probably the most up to date, real time following.
And everything is Honey Peas Boutique.
Honey Peas Boutique. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So Honey Pea is my nieces and nephews call me Aunt Honey. So even so Grayson and Peyton, who are 20 and 18 now, almost 19, called me Aunt Honey growing up. And then my last name's Peterson, but they still call me Honey. And it's even their friends call me Honey. So my nephew was a senior this past year, and even his basketball teammates call me Aunt Honey.
How did that start?
We still have no idea. So I think I probably just called them Honey, like, hi, Honey. And for some reason, they started calling me Aunt Honey. So maybe that's because I always called them Honey. And then it's just gone from my nephews who are now freshmen in high school. They saw me at this workout thing, and he's like, hi, Honey. And you could tell it kind of triggered. And he's like, can I call you Katie now? And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. But it feels almost a little less loving that they feel bad calling me my name. But even the senior in high school's friends after games were like, hi, Honey. And my husband's like, this is boy,
this is getting weird.
Seniors in high school are calling you Honey now. Does that, but it's just a natural.
It's not like that.
No, it's just, hey, Honey.
Cute.
So that's Honey and then Peterson.
I'm so excited for everyone to watch. And if you're local, to shop.
Yes, I know. I feel like I could talk to you guys forever. This has been very therapeutic for me. I appreciate it.
Good. It's so relatable. I mean, anybody trying to parent and work or just survive with managing your social life and professional life and personal life, all of it, it's just, we just put too much on our plate sometimes. But it is important to follow the dream and know what you're passionate about and not give up. And you're modeling not just for kids, for everybody.
Well, thanks. I look up to you guys just as much. I see you running and I'm like, God, you embrace life, and health. And that's the other thing. I got to figure out to find time to run like you guys. I mean,
well, if you need a running coach, I know a good one.
I know a good one, right? So, I mean, we all look to each other. I think it's just giving yourself a little grace and being like, okay, it's okay to say, you're doing okay.
Yeah. What would your 3 top takeaways be for our listeners? Your 3 gold stars.
My 3 gold stars for myself, or what I want them to take. What I want them.
Ooh, either. Whatever's coming to you.
So what I hope that the listeners learned about me is that, I'm not complaining and I'm not saying this is going to fail by any means. I'm just being real because I hope somebody else out there listening who is struggling is like, wait a second, I'm not alone. Because it's so easy to look online and be like, everybody else is being the mom of the year. And I'm sitting here with what's going on in my brain. Why am I the only one? And it's not. It's not. If you looked at me and you thought I have it together, I'm doing the best I can. Am I a good mom? I have to say I am trying, and I think I can, and I am, and I think I have happy girls who are 90% of the time nice to each other and they're happy and they trust me. So I think, yes, I think I am checking the box there. That's probably my number one gold star, is that I want them to realize that they're not alone if they feel like they're struggling and they want to go after their dream, which is probably my second gold star, is that it is doable. You know, it is one of those things that if you want to start something, if you want to do it, there's so many avenues out there now to test out a website or grow a clientele or just do it online and not have the rent to pay. And it is possible. It's hard. It's super hard, but it's possible. So that would probably be number 2. And number 3, I'm trying to think what I'd want them to, just that I really want this to work out. I really want Honey Peas to be a brand that kids come to and shop. And I'm not just trying to sell clothes. Like, you'll never come in and I will never try to upsell you. Mm-hmm. Like, I will never, I greet people when they come in and I say, let me know if you have any questions. Because first off, I don't know what you want to spend. I know kids are wanting to spend more than you want to spend. I will help you find things, but I know the whole world right now is very living within their means. So I'm never going to try to make you spend more than you want to spend or buy something that the kid's going to put in their closet. That's frustrating. That's not a wardrobe battle. I want you to come in. I want you to get rid of some sort of anxiety about shopping with your kid. I want your kid to leave feeling better. I want you to leave feeling good. And just know that it isn't financially focused for me. It is something where if I was able to contribute to my family financially, that would be, okay, I am away from you on the weekends to help you financially. But for me, Honey Peas is a passion project. Mm-hmm. So if you do shop local, if you do shop small, you are supporting someone who wants to help maybe someday pay for a dance bill or pay for something.
I love it. Yeah. You're heart driven, and that's where people, I don't want to say all people, but majority of people want to put their money towards.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, I know the person behind who's receiving this money. Yeah. It's a good cause. It's someone who cares.
And it's not always convenient. Shopping small, and I will be very honest, shopping small is not always convenient. You might not have the exact size available, or you might not have, the time to drive 30 minutes, but it is impactful. Yeah. So not even if it's at Honey Peas, but if you do know someone who owns a small business, I would challenge everybody to shop once a month or go and visit or share about them if you can't shop there, because that is so beyond impactful. If somebody comes because they heard from somebody else, you pay for with one purchase an electricity bill.
Right. Well, and I think too, for me, like I'm saying, who do I follow for style? It's sometimes don't be afraid to share yourself or share your friends, because people are looking for a store, to have an owner that, exactly what Brooke's saying, you want to support someone that has a heart-centered business and that is passionate. So it's okay to share. It's okay to, we should all be sharing each other's things.
100%. And it's free. And when you just said that about who you look for style, it made me think about too, a lot of my friends, dance moms, are some of the best dressed women.
God.
No, and honestly, there's sometimes I pull up to the dance studio and I'm like, I'll just stay in the car today. But just look and just be conscious of what you see, and you're like, I like that.
Mm-hmm. Just I might influence you to wear running shorts and start running, because that's all I ever wear.
Hey,
that's such a lie. Look at you right now. You're in jeans.
But you know what? If you motivate me to work out, that's influence.
Yep.
So by no means am I trying to be somebody else at Summit. Yeah. But there are women that I'm like, I like that hoodie. I love a good hoodie. I love a good hoodie and leggings and good pair of sneakers. And it ranges. Yeah. Based on my mood. But
what are you inspired by?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I love a good sweatsuit.
We got 3 more questions for you. We got Unleashing Ivy. So these are 3 surprise questions, just things we're curious about. Do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You can go.
I had mine. What was I going to ask? Oh, okay. So I like to take people back to their childhood, because I think the way that your heart is and the passion, the positivity, the fact that you're manifesting and chasing your dreams, like do you think that this is something that's just like how you are? Is there anything from your childhood you feel like, you know what, because of this is probably the reason that I am the way I am?
Oh, wow. There's a lot. I'm trying to, I do think my parents brought me up to be who I am. If you know my mom, she is very much like, she would give you the shirt off her back. You know, she's very energetic. I said at my ribbon cutting, the thing I was going to take from her in owning honeypeas is that she makes any stranger feel like family the minute she meets them, you know? Whew. And I do think my dad's very passionate, very work driven. He has the kindest heart too. And I think the mesh of them and the childhood that they gave me, I met a lot of people, you know, always outgoing. They had a ton of friends. You know, I still remember my mom's 40th birthday and I'm turning 40 in a month. And I'm like, holy buckets. Like we grew up in a small town, Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And I just felt like they had a lot of, you know, people involved in my life growing up. So I think that maybe made me who I am, just knowing a lot of people and being exposed to a lot of people. I also think a lot of my life experiences in my first few years of marriage, like I had, not like this is going to completely diverge, but you know, you have miscarriages and you have life things that you go through when you're just like, holy buckets, like life's fragile, you know, and you start to lose friends. And I'm a very empathetic person and I just pride myself on being real by life experiences. So I'd say, yes, upbringing has definitely instilled values of being heart-led, but I think life lessons have made me the person I am today.
Yeah. I just gotta say too, like when you said about your mom, it made me teary-eyed because I'm like, that is absolutely who you are. Like you, ever since I've met you and your brother and their family, like I have felt like I've known you my whole life. Like you make people feel that way too. In your store, at a dance studio, on the street, like you were the friendliest, kindest, warmest person. So
Thank you.
Shout out to your mom and dad crushing it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that because you do hope, you just want to leave this place a little bit better than you came. And, you know, you hope people describe you that way. Yes. So I really appreciate you saying that about me.
Oh, man, we are balls of emotion today.
It's funnier because you're talking, I just want and I wish. And to what Andrea said, like, you are.
Like, thank you.
It is. Maybe it's not at the capacity you want yet, but will it ever be? Right, like that's what we remind ourselves of. We're going to hit that next one. It's going to be like, oh, damn. Okay, but 4 months ago, you wanted this so bad.
Oh, 100%. I have to be patient. And, you know, I do that as a mom, too, where you have, I'll just talk about my 12-year-old right now. You just want to fast forward 6 years and make sure she's okay. And then come back and be like, okay, now I can enjoy it. It's like I fast forward through like TV shows. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh,
tell me they're
this
okay.
is how it ends. Okay, we'll go back and now I can enjoy it. You know, I watch.
Do you actually do that?
Oh my gosh, sometimes yes. Like this year, my nephew won state in basketball. I didn't enjoy the game 1 second because I didn't know what was going to happen.
The outcome.
Now I watch the game and I'm like, they win, so I can totally watch this and enjoy. But that, I mean. I just have to trust, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, speaking of trust, manifesting,
yes.
That's a big one of putting it out and just trusting.
Yeah.
So you mentioned it earlier. I want to know what that looks like for you, when you first started believing in it and tapping into it, maybe to where it is now.
I think I first started believing in it when I set my goals for honeypeas. And I'm not kidding you. I was just like, I want to be on, like, I want to be able to be on TV once. And like a month later, I'm not shitting you. Like, sorry to swear, but like Twin Cities Live reached out. And I was like, okay, maybe my name in print sometime. I've been in like magazines. Why? And like I come back and I'm like, why? How? Like I'm from Eau Claire, like small town. I'm now in Twin Cities. This is just me. And people care enough to talk to me, to put me in magazines. Like I got to slow down and be like, holy crap, this is awesome. Like people care enough to write about me in the Minneapolis St. Paul magazine.
So do you have a vision board? Like how are you manifesting this? You're just thinking it? Are you saying it? Are you chanting it?
You said that when you're like, do you have a vision board? I'm like, I don't have freaking time to do a vision board, but I want to.
So to Andrea's point, though, you're thinking this, but you also are taking action. Are you taking specific action like towards publication or the opportunities?
No, like randomly, and I don't know why. Like,
Must be nice.
Well, no, I think the universe is saying do less.
Do less, right? Like honestly, I think I said it out loud, and I say it to my husband, and I maybe wrote it down. I can't remember, but honestly, I checked my email, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" Like it was through one of those contact yous in my email, and these magazines. Mm-hmm. And I think I gotta just understand that I gotta give myself credit that this does have something, but I'm such a cautious person where I want to protect myself and be like, it's okay. It's, but it is something that when I slow down, I believe in it so much. But like you attested to, where it's heart driven and I want to make a difference in kids' lives, I have to make sure that I'm looking at my 3 first. So to find that healthy balance of not losing weekends with my girls, not losing time with my girls, because I will be the first one to say when I'm this stressed and I lose time and I lose patience and I'm just not being the mom I want to be, where I'm just like, we got to go here, then go here, then here. And it's not fair. I need those moments of there's nothing going on today. Mm-hmm. And during the school year, I mean, my girls dance 5 days a week, and there's days where I drop them off at school and then I drop them off at the dance studio and it's 8 to 8 and I'm losing those weekdays with them during school year. To lose the weekends it's hard, but I don't want to complain. Like somebody sent me this meme that was like, quit complaining. This is what you've asked for. Like to that approach where I'm like, okay, I'm not complaining, but I have to be realistic.
Well, now we're manifesting having your weekends.
We're having weekends. Like I want to
time back
have
with your
weekends.
fam.
Yes, time back with my fam. I want to manifest, and I know I can find. I know I can find someone during the year, because the more I'm open, the more beneficial it is. It just is slowing down and figuring that out.
And you're talking about it here.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I mean, anyone listening? Yeah, listeners in 96 countries. Maybe someone will fly in from Sweden and like, hey, I got you. You want to franchise this out? Perfect. I'm in. But I believe if everybody hears what I believe in, my passion behind it, what I want from this, I want to help. I want to help this next generation of feeling confident.
And when it is heart driven and your mission is to serve, it's going to succeed. Like there's no way that it's not.
And you're aligning with people that are manifesting 1 million downloads of this specific podcast. So they're going to hear it. And the more that people share this podcast with their friends and family to hear, so many listeners are parents. Share this, share the link. We'll have everything in the show notes. And I think it's important to elevate what you're trying to do. It's important to talk about what you're trying to do, and not like you have that mix of like humble, but like, let's talk about it. And I think to pump your tires a bit, like, you know what, I've been doing this for a while. I know what I'm doing. I'm good at it. Like we should encourage everybody to talk about what you're passionate about and what you're trying to create. So last question.
Okay.
Last one. I feel like I could talk to you forever, and we will. If you could go back to younger Katie, younger Honey, and tell her something, what age would she be, and what would you tell her?
Whew. Okay. Younger Katie. I'm 40, so we got a lot of years to pick from. Let's see. I would tell her, I think a lot of my, this is me being vulnerable, and I think, I had to transfer schools my junior year in high school, and I would tell her, you'll find your circle. You'll find your friends. Even through this, opening a small business, you find your squad that believes in you more than you believe in yourself. So I would tell junior year in high school, Katie, you'll find them. Yeah. You'll find your people who believe.
That'd have been tough.
Oh, it was hard. I mean, my 12-year-old had to transfer schools this year too. So I think finding the right fit, right, finding the right support, you'll find your people.
Yeah, I love that. That's something everyone can take away with. Trust. Put the real you out there, and your people will find you.
Yeah. So
moral of this story really today. I love it. We are so grateful that you came here. It was so nice to be with you
in person.
You're such a warm spirit, and our girls are still playing. And we only had to stop
down.
We only had to stop once. They were screaming. They were having the time of their life. But we're so grateful you're here, that we know you, and that we can elevate what you're trying to do. And we always leave our listeners with a piece of gold, a quote that speaks to you. Would you share yours?
I would say, let them. I love that lately. I let them. Like, it's so impactful when you have a store. You can read into millions different things. People who walk in and walk out, or people who shop other places, let them. It can't deter me from what I want with this place. And let them compliment you. I mean, you can look at the negatives. Mm-hmm. Let them believe in you. Let them encourage you. Let them, so I think let them.
This is Gold Ivy signing off.
Listen to your truth and go chase your gold. We want to thank you and encourage you to celebrate yourself for taking the time to learn and get inspired in your one beautiful life. And if this podcast means something to you, it would mean so much to us if you'd be willing to take 30 seconds to help support our mission to keep bringing you inspiring stories and guests.
First, following the podcast is important because it helps you never miss an episode. To do this, just go to the Ivy Unleashed podcast show page on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and then just tap the plus sign in the upper right-hand corner or click on follow.
While you're there, if you'd be so kind to give us a 5-star rating and review and share your favorite episode with a friend, we'd be so grateful for your support.
We are thrilled you're here and are so happy that you're taking time to prioritize your wellness, self-discovery, and growth with us.